Communism is the same. Also, you look in the communist mirror, you're the most ethical, wonderful person ever. It's very difficult to see Stalin underneath it.
Professor Yuval Noah Harari is a historian and the best-selling author of the utterly brilliant Sapiens. This clip is of him on the Lex Friedman podcast. He beautifully explains why fascism and communism are both two sides of the same coin. It really opened my eyes and helped me better understand what is going on in Britain and the West today. And after listening to him, you'll realise what he describes sounds eerily similar to today's woke movement. As he explains, communism and fascism are both totalitarian regimes that demand undying loyalty to the cause. Both are illiberal and utterly intolerant of anything or anyone that doesn't fit with their worldview. This is why they want to put an end to free speech. And I see that with this woke movement, and that is what terrifies me. Remember, the woke activists are self-proclaimed communists and socialists. The only difference being minorities have replaced the working class as the group they will use to bring about the revolution. And that is what woke is. Cultural Marxism. It has exactly the same goal. The professor explains it more beautifully than I can. In a nutshell, when you hear him say class, you can just replace that with minorities to better understand what woke is. Take a listen.
To test whether you're liberal, you need to answer just 3 questions. Very simple. Do you think people should have the right to choose their own government, or the government should be imposed by some outside force? Do you think people should have the right to the liberty to choose their own profession, or either born into some caste that predetermines what they do? And do you think people should have the liberty to choose their own spouse and their own way of personal life, instead of being told by elders or parents who to marry and how to live? Now, if you answered yes to all 3 questions, people should have the liberty to choose their government, their profession, their personal lives, their spouse, then you're a liberal. Communists and fascists, they answer differently. For them, history is not, yes, history is about humans. Humans are the big heroes of history, but not individual humans and their liberties. Fascists imagine history as a clash between races or nations. The nation is at the center. They say the supreme good is the good of the nation. You should have 100% loyalty only to the nation. Liberals say, yes, you should be loyal to the nation, but it's not the only thing. There are other things in the world. There are human rights. There is truth. There is beauty. Many times, yes, you should prefer the interests of your nation over other things, but not always. If your nation tells you to murder millions of innocent people, you don't do that, even though the nation tells you to do it. To lie for the national interest, in extreme situations maybe, but in many cases, your loyalty should be to the truth, even if it makes your nation looks a bit not in the best light. The same with beauty. How does a fascist determine whether a movie is a good movie? Very simple. If it serves the interest of the nation, this is a good movie. If it's against the interest of the nation, this is a bad movie. End of story. Communists are a bit like the fascists. Instead that they don't place the nation as the main hero, they place class as the main hero. For them, history, again, it's not about individuals, it's not about nations. History is the clash between classes. And just as fascists imagine in the end only one nation will be on top, the communists think in the end only one class should be on top, and that's the proletariat. And same story. Your 100% of your loyalty should be to the class. And like if there is a clash, say, between class and family, class wins. Like in the Soviet Union, the party told children, if you hear your parents say something bad about Stalin, you have to report them. And there are many cases when children reported their parents and their parents were sent to the gulag. Like, And your loyalty is to the party, which leads the proletariat to victory in the historical struggle. And the same way in communism, art is only about class struggle. A movie is good if it serves the interests of the proletariat. Artistic values, there is nothing like that. And the same with truth. Everything that we see now in fake news, the communist propaganda machine was there before us. The level of lies, of disinformation campaigns that they orchestrated in the 1920s and 30s and 40s is really unimaginable.
The reason these two ideologies, classes of ideologies, failed is the sacrifice of truth. Not just failed, but did a lot of damage. Is the sacrifice of truth and sacrifice of beauty.
And sacrifice of hundreds of millions of people, disregard, again, for human suffering. Like, okay, for our nation to win, in order for our class to win, we need to kill those millions. That was an ethics, aesthetics, truth. They don't matter. The only thing that matter is the victory of the state or the victory of the class.